Cashiering generally within military forces is a ritual dismissal of an individual from some position of responsibility for a breach of discipline. From the Flemish Kasseren, the phrase entered the English language in the late 16th century, during the wars in the Low Countries, although the O.E.D. states that the first printed use in this sense appears in Shakespeare's Othello. It appeared in the 1595 tract The Estate of English Fugitives by Lewis Lucanor, imploring his help and assistance in so hard an extremity, who for recompense very charitably cashiered them all without the receipt of 1 penny. Military degradation. It is especially associated with the public degradation of disgraced military officers. Prior to World War I, this aspect of cashiering sometimes involved a parade ground ceremony in front of assembled troops with the destruction of symbols of status, epaulets ripped off shoulders, badges and insignia stripped, swords broken, caps knocked away, and medals torn off and dashed upon the ground. The term originated in the era when British Army officers generally bought their commissions. Being cashiered meant that the amount they had paid was lost, as they could not sell out afterwards. Essentially, the commission purchase price was a cash bond for good behavior, forfeited to the Army's cashiers in the event of cowardice, desertion or gross misbehavior. Famous examples. Famous victims of cashiering include Francis Mitchell, Thomas Cochrane, 10th Earl of Dundonald, Alfred Dreyfus, and Philippe Pétain. While most closely associated with Captain Dreyfus, the ceremony of formal degradation occurred several times in the French military under the Third Republic. At least one other army officer and a naval officer were subjected to the ritual of having their swords broken and the insignia, braid and buttons publicly torn from their uniforms, after being found guilty of charges of treason. More commonly, a number of NCOs and private soldiers underwent similar punishments for committing various serious offences, before execution or imprisonment. In fiction. Film. In the 1936 film The Life of Émile Zola, the degradation of Captain Alfred Dreyfus is shown in full, with his own troops being ordered to turn their back on the captain as he is marched before them. In the movie Mary Poppins, when George Banks is fired, a version of cashiering occurs. A member of the bank's board of directors ceremoniously tears up the carnation from his lapel, and then destroys his hat and umbrella before showing him the door. Print cashiering is mentioned in Rudyard Kipling's poem, Danny Deever, in which a British soldier in India is degraded before his regiment before being hanged for murder. They're taken of his buttons off and cut his stripes away. In Thomas Pynchon's novella The Crying of Lot 49, the Metzger character acted as a child star in a film called Cashiered, about a World War II British officer drummed out of the army on trumped-up charges, who tries to clear his name. In David Webber's Honor Harrington novel Field of Dishonor, Pavel Young is cashiered when he is dishonorably discharged from the Royal Manticoran Navy. Additionally, Denver Summerdale recalls his earlier cashiering in the novel, on Basilisk Station. Further information on the reasons for his cashiering appears in Field of Dishonor. In the Starship Troopers novel, Recruit Private Theodore C. Hendrick is cashiered for hitting a superior. Television. In the NBC TV series Branded, Jason McCord is shown being cashiered from the U.S. Cavalry in the opening credits. In the pilot episode of the AMC television series Turn, British Captain Hewlett orders British Captain Joyce to return to England to be court-martialed and cashiered for brawling in an American tavern, in violation of the occupying army's rules to maintain law and order.